Alright, let's try and get this done before the alarms start sounding again. Happy Tuesday everybody, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if it's your first time here. If it is your first time here, you should go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. I make a video every single week. Typically I talk about minimalism, so if that's something you are interested in, which I'm guessing if you click on this video, you are, you might want to come hang out next week too. But in today's video, as I'm sure you know, I'm going to be discussing my top 10 tips for people who are brand new to minimalism. Minimalism has been quite the movement recently, I'm sure you've noticed. And there are so many misconceptions or people who really want to take part and just don't know how. And so I'm gonna help. I want to say I'm gonna tell you how, but really no one should ever tell you how to go about minimalism. So I'm just gonna give you 10 tips, and hopefully these help you out. If you're not so new to minimalism and you have tips that I haven't mentioned, please leave them down below. Maybe it's something I haven't heard, but more likely than not, it's going to be something that helps somebody else. Tip number 1, stay in your lane. Don't compare yourself. Everybody is going to have a different idea of what minimalism looks like and what it is they need to do to accomplish it. You don't need to compare your minimalism to mine, to your friends, to your neighbors, to anybody else on YouTube that you watch who talks about minimalism. It's not about us, it's about you. So don't worry about us. I mean, it's perfectly fine to discuss minimalism and compare ideas, but don't compare how far you are with how far someone else is. Comparison is just going to lead you to be miserable and stressed out. Tip number 2. Minimalism is not a race. You don't have to complete it in a certain amount of time. It's not some kind of a 30-day challenge, although you can use those as tools to help you in your minimalism journey. It's really about taking as long as you need it to take for you to really go through everything, not just physical, but also digital, mental, emotional, and get rid of the things that you just don't need to make yourself happy, to make your life better. You're not going to get it done in a weekend. Did you very consciously go and acquire all of your things very quickly? Probably not, right? So you're not going to be able to get rid of it that quick either. So don't be so hard on yourself. It's really not a race. Tip number 3. Start small. Start with something that is very, very small, but will have a big impact on your life. Personally, I'm a huge advocate for starting by decluttering your phone, your wallet, or your purse, because these are items that we typically will all use every single day, sometimes repeatedly throughout the day. So if we declutter those first, you're more quickly going to see the results, and that's going to encourage you to keep going. Maybe for you, starting small is your junk drawer, your closet, whatever it is, start small. Don't overwhelm yourself before you've even started. Tip number 4 is that minimalism is not black and white. So many people really want to take part in minimalism and try something out, like a capsule wardrobe or just minimizing their home decor. But everything that they've seen online is very, very neutral. And being a lover of colors, they're not a huge fan. Minimalism is not all black and white. If you like colors, use them. If you like prints, use those too. It's really about what you like and what makes you happy. It doesn't have to be black and white unless that is what you want it to be. The glare from my glasses is driving anybody else crazy. I really need to figure out a way to fix this. Tip number 5 is that minimalism is about what brings you joy, not just owning less. So many people I know have collections, myself included. That does not disqualify you from being a minimalist and taking part in minimalism if that's what you want to do. If those collectibles of whatever kind it is bring you happiness, by all means keep them. I recommend pruning your collection. Go through. Do all of these make you happy? But it doesn't mean you have to get rid of your collection or stop collecting. Being a minimalist with a collection simply means that you very carefully selected those things that are a part of your collection. You don't have to get rid of everything you like just because you don't think it's necessary. If it makes you happy, it fits. Tip number 6, consider what you bring into your space. If you can consider what you bring into the space before you do it, it's going to make a lot less work for you when you have to consider what you have to remove from your space. Be your own bouncer. If you can verify what it is you're bringing in and really be considerate with that, it'll save you time and effort when you're trying to be considerate about what then needs to be removed. And that brings me really simply into tip number 7. If you cannot find a home for it, it does not belong in your home. Everything in your space has a purpose, whether you really realize it or not. It's beautiful, it's something that makes you happy, it's a necessity, it's a utility that you require in some way, shape, or form. Whatever it is, it serves a purpose. If you can't find a home for it and a proper place for it to be, it does not need to be in your space. If it does not have a home, it means it doesn't fit. And if it doesn't fit, it means you don't need to keep it. Number 8 is one of the more important ones, and it's really to understand why you are doing this. If you're doing it purely for the sake of making space, you're just going to accumulate more things. If you're only doing it for the aesthetic, that's all right, but you need to go in with that understanding and knowing that when it's only for the aesthetic, it's most likely not going to be sustainable. If you really understand why you're making the changes that you're making, why you're decluttering the things you are decluttering, and why they don't bring you value, it's going to be a lot easier for you to maintain that and not bring those types of things back into your life. Tip number 9 is that while a lot of minimalism is about getting rid of the things you already own but you no longer need or use or find value in, it's also important to express the gratitude you have for the things that you do have, use, love, and require. So tip number 9 is simple, and that is to express your gratitude. I'll use my bed as the example because you can see it here behind me. I love my bed. I am incredibly grateful that I have a warm, safe place that I can come to at night and sleep. It's comfortable, I sleep better on it. And I'm very grateful that I have these things because not everyone does. If you can be truly grateful for the things that you do have, you'll notice it helps you tremendously when it comes to wanting more things. Minimalism isn't about not owning a lot. Minimalism is about owning enough. And tip number 10 is to just remember that practice makes perfect. You're not going to declutter everything in your home in one go and never need to declutter again. Decluttering is going to take several rounds. Sometimes that can take months, sometimes that's years, sometimes it's only weeks. But it's going to end up being a regular practice. So don't put so much pressure on yourself to get everything right the first time. If you truly cannot decide whether or not you need that sweater, it is okay to decide you're going to keep it and revisit it in a few months and see how you feel then. I've done several decluttering videos on my channel. You can check them out if you like. And you'll notice that I've done the same area multiple times. Because sometimes you don't know, and as time goes on and you grow and you gain a deeper understanding of what you're doing and why, it's easier to go back and get rid of more that perhaps you thought you needed before. So I hope my 10 tips helped you guys, and it doesn't sound too much like I'm giving you commandments. Let me know if there are any tips that you guys can come up with. And I hope you have a great day. I'll see you all next week. Bye!